Romance readers, back with my second video for the day, and like I mentioned in my last video, I got a book haul for you. So yeah, and yeah, I've been purchasing books, but hopefully they're good books. And like I said before, I'm not gonna make any excuses. If I see some books I want, I'm just gonna go and purchase them. Yeah. And most of these books I purchased because I think I mentioned this PeaceLoveBookxo channel on here before. I subscribe to her channel, and she does romance book, and plus she does sports romances. And like I mentioned before, I'm getting into sports romances, so I got quite a few sports romances from her, and I really love her channel. So if you into, like I said, I always say, like, I don't know why I always say like I said, and I probably haven't even said anything. I don't even know. It's just a habit. So if I said it a lot, just ignore it and move on. Because I can't help it. I can't. But anyway, if you like reading romance books like I do, I think you'll like her channel. So check her out. I'll leave her the link to her channel below. It's PeaceLoveBookxo. So check her out. So first off, let me get started here. And before I also have some books, 2 books here that I want to add to my TBR for August. So this is going to be an August-September TBR, because all the books I have on this TBR on my list here to read, I got too many. So I know I'm not going to finish them all this month, so they're going to be going over into September also. But I'm still reading on An Extraordinary Union. And look, I'm trying to read 2 books at one time. And I'm also reading The Score. This recommendation came from PeaceLoveBookxo. I'm still reading on that. But I mentioned those 2 because I'm not going to be able to finish them right now, because I also got this from PeaceLoveBookxo too. She recommended this series, Paper Princess by Erin, and I got these from the library, so I'm gonna have to quit reading those 2, and I'm just gonna read this first book. I got all 3 books here. The first one in the book is Paper Princess. The second in the series is Broken Prince, and the third in the series is Twisted Palace. So I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to get to both of these before I have to take these back, because I got the book 2 and book 3 before I got book 1. I just got book 1 today. So I'm going to finish this book, and if I really like the first book, I might go ahead and if I don't get a chance to read these 2, I might go ahead and take these back to the library and just order the whole series. So I'm not going to read I'm not going to finish reading The Score and An Extraordinary Union until I finish this book right here. Or this whole series. I'm going to try to finish this before I have to take these back to the library. So I'll get back to The Score and An Extraordinary Union later. I'm just going to try to get through these because, like I said, I checked these out from the library, and I hope it's good. She highly recommended, so I hope they're good. And I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis on this. Ella Harper is a survivor, a pragmatic optimist. She spent her whole life moving from town to town with her flinty mother, struggling to make ends meet and believing that someday she'll climb out of the gutter. After her mother's death, Ella is truly alone until Callum Royal appears, plucking Ella out of poverty and tossing her into his posh mansion among his 5 sons who all hate her. Each Royal boy is more magnetic than the last, but none as captivating as Reed Royal, the boy who is determined to send her back to the slums she came from. Reed doesn't want her. He says she doesn't belong with the Royals. And this is a YA romance. Have any of you read this? Did you like it? So I'm going to start reading this. Hopefully I can hurry and finish this, and I can get on to the other 2 books, A Broken Prince and Twisted Palace. So I'm going to put this on my TBR for this month, so maybe I can get through the first one. I hope I like it. Like I said, if I like it, I'll just go ahead and take those other 2 back, all 3 of them back to the library, and just buy the whole series. Next up, I'm going to put on my TBR is Trade Me by Courtney Milan. Have any of you read this? I bought this for the cover mostly. Isn't it beautiful? And I'll read you a little bit of this. I think I mentioned this on I think I showed this before as in one of my hauls, but I'm going to put this on my list to read for August and September. I'll read a little bit of this. Tina Chin just wants a degree and a job, so her parents never have to worry about making rent again. She has no time for Blake Reynolds, the sexy billionaire who stands to inherit Cyclone System, but when he makes an offhand comment about what it means to be poor, she loses her cool and tells him he couldn't last 2 weeks living her life. I think I read that on here before, but those of you who haven't seen it, it's Trade Me by Courtney Milan, and I'm going to put it on my TBR for this month and next month. And next I have, I'm going to add to my TBR list is Master of the Crows. I think I've shown this on here before too. I'm going to put this on my TBR for this month and September. I'll read a little bit of this. What would you do to win your freedom? This is the question that set bondswoman Martisa Asher on a dangerous path. In exchange for her freedom, she bargained with her master, the mage priest of Concave, to spy on the renegade sorcerer Sahara of Neth. The priest wants Martise to expose the sorcerer's treachery and turn him over to Conclave justice. A risky endeavor, but one she accepts without hesitation until she falls in love with her intended target. So that's Master of Crows by Grace Draven. I like Grace Draven writing, so I hope this turned out to be good. I really enjoy her first 2 books. I don't remember what that, I doubt if they even have the name of them in here, her first 2 books, but I really enjoyed those. And I did a video on those 2 books, so because I don't see the name of them in here, but she's an excellent writer. If you haven't read any of her books, you need to check them out. Excellent writer. And okay, let me get to my other books here that I purchased. I purchased Furious Rush by S.C. Stevens. This is a I guess you could call it a sports romance, because both the characters in here, the female and the male character, are motorcycle what are they? Yep, motorcycle racing. And so when they said the female was also a motorcycle racer, well, like I said, Peace Love Books recommended this, and she mentioned that the female was a motorcycle racer. I was like, I gotta get it. So I'll read you a little bit of this. Mackenzie Cox has a lot to prove. Daughter of a racing legend, she is eager to show the world that she has inherited her father's talent in the male-dominated sports of professional football racing. The last thing Kenzie needs is to be antagonized by her rival team's newest rider, Hayden Hayes. Plucked from the world of illegal street racing, Hayden immediately gets under Kenzie's skin. His insinuation that Kenzie is a spoiled princess who was handed her career fuels her desire to win, and much to her surprise, Kenzie soon learns she performs better when she's racing against Hayden. And I would have got this on my Kindle, but I like this cover, because now if I see a cover that I like, I go ahead and get it, because if you wait a while, they might change the cover on you. So I went ahead and purchased this. I really got it for the cover, but I hope the book is good, because like I said, it got a motorcycle racing heroine. Yeah, so I got my finger crossed. I hope it turns out to be good. Next, I mentioned this in one of my other videos. Yes, it's by Keelan again. Egomaniac. I think I reviewed this in another one of my videos, and I mentioned that I was going to get my sister to get it for me for my birthday, so she did. So this is in my book haul too. If you haven't read this, you're missing out, people. Excellent book. I'm not going to read the back of it, because I think I mentioned that in another video of mine. And this, I got The Player by Clare Contreras. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. This was an excellent book. I read this already too. Yep, I got all off my TBR again, and I read this. I think I downloaded this for free. I mentioned Kindle Unlimited, people. Kindle Unlimited. I read this for free. I really enjoyed it, so I purchased the book, The Player by Clare Contreras. I'll read a little bit of this. I'm not naturally gifted on the field and between the sheets. My bad, let me start all over. I'm naturally gifted on the field and between the sheets. With flashy cars and enough media attention to put the royal family to shame, I'm the definition of most eligible bachelor. Every man wants to be me, and every woman wants to tame me, until Camilla. The moment I lay eyes on her, I know I have to have her. So if you haven't read The Player by Clare Contreras, another one you're missing out, because it's an excellent book. And if you're trying to get into the sports romance, or you like the sports romances, I highly recommend this one as a good read for you. Next I have Pamela Clare, Striking Distance. And I've read Pamela Clare's historical. I never read I guess this is going to be a romantic suspense. I've never read in her romantic suspense, so I said let me check it out. I was on Amazon looking around, I saw this, so I'm gonna check this out and see how it is. I'll read you a little bit of this. TV reporter Laura Nielsen, known as the Baghdad Babe, spent 18 months in an Al-Qaeda compound after being kidnapped live on the air. 2 years later, she's still wondering why. No mission in Javier Cabre's 14 years as a Navy SEAL affected him the way Laura Rescue did. No woman has stirred his protection instinct the way she did, and he wants her more than he's ever wanted anyone. And that's Striking Distance by Pamela Clare. And the last book I have here is also by Pamela Clare. This is Falling Hard. This is a contemporary. I don't think this is a suspense novel. I don't think so. But this is probably going to be a series. It's a Colorado high country novel. So this probably be a series. And I think he was in the military and he's like a search and rescue. He's on a search and rescue team now. But I just think it's just a regular contemporary. And I'll read the back of this. Ellie Meeks promised her pilot husband that if he was killed in combat, she would live her life to the fullest. 3 years later, she is still alone, raising the twins he never met. She has no interest in dating or meeting men until one snowy night when a stranger helps her get her 6 kids safely home. That stranger turns out to be a former Army Ranger and a member of the elite Rocky Mountain Search and Rescue Team. He's also tall, rugged, and irresistibly sexy. And so that's Falling Hard by Pamela Clare. So that's all I have for today. I'm going to wish everyone a good evening. Until next time or until next week. Keep reading those romances and I'll see ya. Bye.